Hello viewers, I hope you all are in good health. Year 2020 did not come with a very happy news and soon the air got filled with virus called COVID-19 which was originated in Wuhan in China. Now these are literally the testing times in India. So I'll be talking about various tests which are to be done to diagnose the COVID-19. As most of my friends were inquiring about various tests which are to be done to diagnose the disease and what are the significance and usefulness of this test. So hopefully I will clear some air regarding various tests to diagnose COVID-19 in my presentation. So before that, something about coronavirus. Coronavirus is a large family of viruses that are known to cause illness ranging from common cold to more severe disease such as MERS and SARS. These are the past coronavirus outbreaks. SARS in 2002, which was caused by beta coronavirus, originated in bats and crossed over to humans via cats as an intermediate host. This was also emerged in China and the fatality rate was 11%. MERS-CoV in 2012. This was also a bat origin, emerged in Saudi Arabia and camel was an intermediate host. The fatality rate was 34%. Now something about the coronavirus disease, that is COVID-19, is an emerging pandemic caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, that is SARS-CoV-2. This is an enveloped RNA virus with a diameter of 60 to 140 nanometer. It has spikes-like projection on the surface as seen via electron microscope. It is a new strain of coronavirus that has been identified only recently, so it is called as novel coronavirus. This is a morphology of the coronavirus or novel coronavirus with spikes-like projections on the surface, and inside in the center there is a nucleic acid RNA. These are the various modes of transmission of this virus, mainly from person to person through respiratory droplets produced when infected person or the patient coughs or sneezes. Transmission also possible in asymptomatic phase, that is 4 to 6 days prior to the onset of symptoms. Spread also from contact with a surface that has the virus on it and then touching your mouth and nose and eyes. Coronavirus can remain viable for several hours on cardboard and up to 3 days on plastic and steel. Blood, urine, stool and body fluids are at low risk of transmission, but virus has been isolated from these samples in COVID-19, although this is not the primary means of transmission. The patient usually complains of cough, breathlessness, fever, and in severe cases there will be pneumonia, severe acute respiratory distress syndrome, kidney failure and even death. Now what happens once this coronavirus or SARS-CoV-2 comes inside our body? This is a RNA virus, so they rely on infiltrating the healthy cells to multiply and survive. Once inside the cell, the virus uses its own genetic code RNA to take control of and reprogram the cells so that they become virus making factories. So these are the various tests which are used in diagnosing the COVID-19. The first and important is real-time PCR for early detection of antigen, serological tests, that is rapid antibody detection tests, and various other biochemical tests to predict the progression of the COVID-19, critical COVID-19. Now coming to RT-PCR, it detects genetic information of the virus, that is RNA, and is only possible when the person is actively infected. PCR is used to directly detect the presence of antigen. PCR should be done in first week of the symptom in a person. What is the principle of this PCR? RT-PCR is used in which the process of reverse transcription is used, means RNA is converted to DNA. They do this because only DNA can be copied or amplified, which is the key part of the real-time PCR to detect the virus. Amplification is important because of difficulty in spotting the minuscule amount of virus. Amplification will give large enough quantity of viral DNA to be accurately confirmed. These are the various specimens which are collected to diagnose antigen of coronavirus using RT-PCR. First and foremost is nasopharyngeal swab, or space above the soft palate at the back of the nose has highest concentration of virus and so is highly sensitive according to CDC. You can also take throat swab, but which is less sensitive than nasopharyngeal swab. Saliva and blood are also used, but they are very less sensitive. Now, this specimen is treated with several chemicals to remove protein and fat so that only RNA is extracted from the sample. This extracted RNA is person's own genetic material mixed with coronavirus RNA if present. This RNA is reverse transcribed to DNA using enzymes. Then you add additional short fragments of DNA complementary to transcribed viral DNA. These fragments attach to the target sections of viral DNA if virus is present in the sample. The mixture is then placed in the RT-PCR machine. The machine then creates new identical copies of target sections of viral DNA. So there is a doubling of copies, means 2 copies become 4 and 4 copies become 8 and so on. Standard RT-PCR setup goes through 35 cycles and that means at the end of process 35 billion new copies of viral DNA are created from each strand of virus in the sample. As new copies of viral DNA form, the marker labels attached to DNA strands and then release a fluorescent dye which is measured by computer in the machine in real time on screen. The computer tracks the amount of fluorescence in sample after each cycle. When amount goes over a certain level of fluorescence, this confirms that virus is present. Then we monitor how many cycles it takes to reach this level in order to estimate the severity of infection. Fewer the cycles, more severe is the infection. This chart depicts the corona testing positivity rate in various specimens. BAL, that is bronchoalveolar lavage, has 93% positivity rate. Bronchoscopic brush biopsy has 46% positivity rate. Sputum has 72%, nasal swabs 63%, pharyngeal swabs 32%, feces 29%, blood only 1% positivity rate, and urine 0% positivity rate. So nasal swabs are preferred over pharyngeal swabs. So why do you prefer RT-PCR? Because it is highly sensitive and highly specific, up to 80 to 85% specificity according to Journal of Clinical Virology, or more than 90% also. Gives results in 3 to 4 hours, lower potential for contamination, it gives less errors and gives good indication of who is infected so that they can be isolated and close contacts can be quarantined. It helps in breaking the chain of transmission of virus. However, it cannot be used for past infection, which is important for understanding the development and spread of virus. This is also very labor intensive and false negative also occur. That means it is more useful for confirming the presence of infection than giving the patient the all clear. The serological test, which are the rapid antibody detection test through SARS-CoV-2 in blood. These are IgG and IgM. What is the purpose of this antibody detection? This is only for investigational and surveillance purpose. They serve the basis, it is said that they serve the basis for immunity passport or risk-free certificates that would enable individuals to move around assuming that they are protected against reinfection. But again, there is no evidence to suggest that once you are you have antibodies or you are positive for antibodies, that you cannot have reinfection. Reinfection can still happen even if you have antibodies. So if the sample is positive for IgM antibodies, it tells that patient has had a recent infection and is in the stage of infectivity. That means patient can infect others. If sample is positive for IgG antibodies, it tells that patient had an old infection and cannot infect others. This is a graph of antibody response in COVID-19. Here is a chronology of COVID-19 infection. On day 0, the patient is infected, and up to day 5, the patient can be asymptomatic. The onset of symptoms takes place after 5 days of incubation. Then on day 7, IgM antibody is positive. So, and it will remain positive in the blood up to day 21. On day 14, IgG antibody becomes positive, and day 1 to day 28, SARS-CoV-2 RNA and antigen will be positive on RT-PCR. On day 21, IgM antibody will disappear from blood. Now day 28, SARS-CoV-2 RNA antigen will disappear. That means RT-PCR will come negative. So day 0 to day 5, this is the asymptomatic phase, and day 0 to day 7 is a window period. Only PCR is positive in this phase, and day 14 to day 21 decline phase but still infective, and day 21 to day 28 is convalescent phase but still the case can be infective. The immunity to a pathogen through a natural infection takes over 1 to 2 weeks by producing antibodies called immunoglobulins. The T cells also produced which eliminate other infected cells. This is the cellular immunity. So how effective are these rapid tests? The rapid tests that detect antibodies in SARS-CoV-2 in people need further validation to determine accuracy and reliability. False positive and negative can be there, which will affect the control efforts. People with past infection with other set of coronavirus other than SARS-CoV-2 may produce antibodies that cross-react with antibodies produced in response to SARS-CoV-2 infection. So, which people are to be tested with rapid antibody test? Especially health workers, close contacts of known cases, because they are critical for understanding the extent of the disease and the risk factors. And there is no enough evidence of antibody mediated immunity to secondary infection, and people may ignore the public health advice. Then there are various biochemical tests to predict the progression of the critical COVID-19 case. You can see leukocytosis, neutrophilia and lymphopenia will be there, and there will be increased values of LDH, cardiac troponin, D-dimer, prothrombin, procalcitonin, CRP, creatinine, SGOT, SGPT and total bilirubin. These are the ICMR guidelines. In a cluster or containment zone, home quarantine the people for 14 days and do the rapid antibody test. If it comes positive, then the patient is a probable COVID-19 case, and either you can home isolate the patient or hospital treatment can be given. And if it is a negative antibody test, then RT-PCR if warranted, and if the RT-PCR comes positive, then COVID-19 case, then the patient is a COVID-19 case, and if it is negative, then non-COVID ILI susceptible. And if PCR is not done, home quarantine and do the antibody or repeat the antibody test after 10 days. If it comes negative, then it is COVID-19 susceptible, and if it is positive, probable COVID-19 case. Now this is the critical role of laboratory medicine in COVID-19 according to IFCC guidelines. Once you detect the antigen by RT-PCR, then the infection is confirmed in a person, and there can be either there will be progression of the disease. In that case, you can do the biochemical test to assess the progression of the disease, and after that the patient may recover or even patient may die. And the antibody tests which are done, which are mostly used for epidemiological surveillance. Now finally, to conclude, prevention is better than cure. So WHO, ICMR and CDC, they all are telling us to have a proper hand hygiene. So these are the steps to have a proper hand hygiene, and this is a very easy short form which is done, that is Suman K ko yaad rakho. That is Suman K, that is S is Seedha, U is ulta, M is muthi, and A is angutha, and N is nakhun, and K is kalai. So these are the steps of hand wash. So please do that and prevent yourself from having coronavirus disease. So stay home and stay safe. I stayed at work for you, you stay at home for us. Thank you very much.